The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users, on demand on iTunes and on YouTube, and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you're encouraged to post your comments whether you agree with yours truly or not. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten, and I welcome you to the show. Well, as you can well imagine, there are so many big stories going on today. It was hard to choose what to talk about. So what I did is I reached out to some of you, and I asked you, what issues do you want to discuss on the show today? And I'm going to have a few of you set several topics, and then we're going to open it up to discussion on any of the topics that your fellow users have raised for the duration of the show. We're going to first go to Florida, and Anna, who wants to talk to us about Barack Obama's campaign promises, those made, those kept, those broken in the past 100 days. Anna, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Thank you, Gary. And for those of you who saw Obama's speech last night, I think he did a phenomenal job. Certainly, he has kept a lot of his campaign promises. He has gone down the list, sort of like a checklist, it seems. And he had told the American people that on his first day being in office, the first thing he would do is to bring in his top officials handling the war in Iraq, to sit them down and to tell them that they have a new mission, which is to start a withdrawal from Iraq, to hand over the power to the Iraqi people and to start a withdrawal. And he certainly did do so. There are some people who are not happy that Obama is, signing legislations in order to fund the war. However, we have to remember that our troops are still over there. They need food. They need weapons with themselves, and they need armor, the same armor that Bush didn't want to give them initially at the beginning of the war. So certainly we have to keep funding this war, at least until there is a complete withdrawal from Iraq. But in the meantime, so far it seems that Obama has kept his promises. He's working on a swift withdrawal from Iraq, and of course focusing more on the outsourced sort of war in Afghanistan. So on that front, I think he's doing a good job. Last night, a lot of people are saying that Obama seems to be apologizing too much. Well, let's see what happened in the previous administration. Hurricane Katrina, the levees were federal responsibility, and they did not hold. Was there an apology? No. The insult of our allies, telling them that if they weren't going to support us, that we were going to go in Iraq alone, and to pretty much, gave them the proverbial finger and, went gung-ho into Iraq, insulted our allies in Europe and around the world. And there was no apology there when it was found that the Iraq war was sort of costing more in lives and in money than anticipated. When we look at, there are several things that, were said, were done, and unfortunately there was no apology. So for Obama to, go around the world and apologize and to, reassure people that there's a new sort of ideological presence in the White House, I think is a good thing. It's bringing people over to our side. 80% of Europeans approve of this president. I think it's a wonderful thing that now we have a positive outlook on what's going on in the United States as opposed to the overwhelmingly negative one, which previously had given Ahmadinejad some political leverage around the world. Thus far, I think Obama's doing a great job. 95% of the population have received a cut in taxes. Millions of people are now being able to handle their mortgages, are looking at perhaps a more comprehensive way of paying their mortgages and cutting down the cost rather to their family, the burden of cost on a monthly basis. So I think overall Obama's doing a good job. He is, of course, trying to keep as many promises as he can, regardless of the fact that people are saying perhaps he's trying to do too much too soon and everything like that, and at the same time dealing with a pandemic as well as an economic crisis. So thanks a lot for letting me speak on the mic, and with that, I relinquish it back to you, Gary. Thanks.
Well, thank you for that, Anna. At the St. Petersburg Times, they have their very famous Obama meter with the scorecard. It says 27 promises have been kept, 7 he has compromised on, 6 have been broken, 3 are stalled, 63 in the works, and 408 of them no action. Promises that they've recently related, recognizing the Armenian genocide, he promised to do that. That promise has been broken. Establish a credit card bill of rights, in the works. Create a consumer-friendly credit card rating system, in the works. And fund a major expansion of AmeriCorps. That is a promise kept. Once again, according to the St. Petersburg Times Obama meter, the scorecard is 27 promises kept, 7 compromised, 6 broken, 3 stalled, 63 in the works, and 408 no action. Of course, it's only 100 days into his administration. We now go to Lelani in Hawaii, who has concerns about hate crimes in the United States. Lelani, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Good afternoon, Gary, and thank you for having me on. I did want to talk about a new hate crimes bill that is being reintroduced into Congress by Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. It's H.R. 1913 for those of you who are interested. What it does is H.R. 13 is strengthening language in the bill against hate crimes in America. Commonly we see, especially after 9/11, hate crimes did excel. But if you look at the figures in 2007 and 2008, you can see that those numbers did drop a little. But in 2009, we're seeing another increase in hate crimes against racial hate crimes, which is something that needs to be prevented. If we notice, from my perspective, I'm noticing a lot of anti-Jewish sentiments coming out of certain areas in the United States. I see anti-Mexican, I see anti-homosexual, and a lot of the language that is in this bill will target many of these groups who are targeting either racial groups or religious groups or people with alternate sexual orientation. So I think that this bill will not only strengthen the language, but will also cover and protect many of our members in our